When we go out to eat, we never agree on where to go.
I want burgers.
Pizza.
Tacos it is.
The one thing we do agree on is we all want unlimited high-speed data. That's why we switched to Metro PCS.
Stop by Metro PCS with the whole family and get 4 lines with unlimited LTE data for just $100, period. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figure it out.
Coverage not available in some areas. Offers require port and of number not currently active on T-Mobile network. During congestion, the fraction of customers using more than 35 gigs per month may notice reduced speeds. Video streams at up to 40p. No tethering. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Welcome to Define You Radio. Classes in session. I am your host, Valencia Griffin-Wallace. If this is your first time listening, thank you, and make sure you connect with the show on Define You Radio's Facebook page and www.defineyouradio.com. Because of today's show, I almost feel like rapping the Wu-Tang song, Cream, right? And in case you don't know that song, CREAM stands for Cash Rules Everything Around Me, which brings us to today's session with Lexi Jones to discuss you, your children, and money. Lexi has been on the show several times and always gives us money tips we could use. The type of tips that will have you asking, if you're anything like me, what would Lexi do? Pens and papers ready? Let's welcome best-selling author, I had to throw that out there, Lexi to the show.
Hey, Valencia. Hey, everyone. Thank you for having me again.
Yay. I'm always excited to have you on the show because you give me plenty of financial knowledge and you give it in bits and pieces that even I could digest. So I'm not mad at all about money when you break it down.
Awesome, because that's my goal. I don't want people to be frustrated about it.
Yes, because it could be a frustrating thing. Now, like I said, you are a best-selling author, so congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, driven success.
Go ahead and tell the audience a little bit about yourself in case this is their first time hearing you.
Sure. So as Valencia so eloquently introduced, thank you. My name is Lexi Jones, and I am president and master coach of Lexi Jones, LLC. I am a transformational speaker, best-selling author, as Valencia said, and I coach women entrepreneurs in business, leadership, and finances. But what I really do is to help women entrepreneurs, especially single moms who are entrepreneurs, to achieve freedom through business ownership.
I love that. Why did you single out single moms?
I am a single mom myself of 4, and so that is just a passion of mine, and particularly as I talk about the areas of finances and business. And the last couple of times I was on the show, I think I gave my quick excerpt of my testimony as it relates to finances and how in 2008 I lost everything, and was married and then found myself divorced, and now I was this single mom with 3 children and a mound of debt and no home, no car, nothing really to call my own except for the children and their clothes and their things. So that is why I'm really passionate about reaching out to other single moms who are struggling, in finances or in business, because I chose business ownership as my pathway to freedom. And so I just want to help other single moms who are desiring to do the same thing.
And that is so important. As I was a single mom. I don't know if you still considered a single mom when you're married, because I am married now. But when I was, quote, unquote, a single mom, it was more about making money and paying bills, just making it and paying bills, that check to check, and really not having the financial knowledge that I needed to where I would not have had to work so hard just to have our wants and needs taken care of. So I love that you are, that's your topic and your specialty, because as single moms, I know a lot of single moms, and I know it is very much a check to check, and then you're check to check. You're not teaching your kids anything, and then you're still working long past retirement age, or barely living when you retire, because this whole time you hadn't saved anything. But I know we're focusing on kids or children. And I just want to say, because even though my son is 20, I still consider him a kid, But
don't we always?
Right. He's still going to be a kid at 50 to me. But one of the things, it was a lot of financial knowledge I didn't have. So soon as I did my best to teach him, I researched, and as I learned, I taught him things. And now, things about credit and saving and everything, he's still trying to grasp that concept of when it comes out of his account to go to his savings account, he's not losing money, because that's how for the longest time he looked at it, like, I'm losing money, but I'm like, no, it's going somewhere to make more money. But
right.
I focused a little bit on that, but mainly on his credit, and now I can say my son has a credit score higher than most of the adults I know.
That's
now
awesome.
It's teaching him what that means exactly. It doesn't mean you start getting a bunch of cards and everything. So class is truly in session today. So I want to ask you, I guess just jump right in. Why is it important to teach kids about money?
Valencia, thank you for that question. It is extremely important to teach our children about money so that we don't perpetuate this mindset of poverty. And it is, very real. It's a physical thing. That it's a mindset. It's a mindset. It's attitudes, the beliefs that we carry about money. And, you talked about that song earlier from Wu-Tang, was it Cream? And cash rules everything around me. And, I like to say, okay, cash rules everything around me, but now let's teach you how to rule the cash. You rule the cash and everything around you.
I love
so just
that.
little tweaks like that in the mindset.
Because we do, and I don't know if they teach this in schools now. I know my son was fortunate enough to be in a school system to where they taught him little things, like they actually taught them how to write checks. I don't know if they taught them the purpose and so on and so forth, because I do know adults that don't know how to write a check.
Yeah.
So it's the importance of showing them, like you said, ruling the cash or the credit, making it work for you instead of, you working for it and it's going nowhere.
Right.
Right.
So it's definitely important that we learn for ourselves, number one, so that we can pass it down to our children, and we can start to change the patterns, that we've seen in our families. For those that can relate to this, the patterns that we've seen in our families for generations.
What age do you recommend we start teaching our children about money?
As soon as they can start walking around. So I have children of all ages. Okay, I have 4 children, and they range from 22 to 1.5. And so it's never too soon. I don't think. I mean, right out the womb, obviously, but you know, it's never too soon to begin to teach your children about money, about anything for that matter, but about money. And so with my 1.5-year-old, even though she really doesn't understand, I'll show her a penny, but she doesn't really understand it. Just me showing it to her every day, she's taking it in. And then if she sees me take that penny or that nickel or that dime or that dollar or that $20 bill to the store, and she's with me, and now I'm making a transaction in the store, she's connecting these things. She's connecting these things. So she may not totally understand it all right now, but as she gets older, she'll continue to connect the dots, So you can just take a piece of paper and you can tape, for those of you who have, toddlers, you can tape a penny, a nickel, a dime, a quarter, so on and so forth, and just put it, somewhere on their wall, of course, out of their reach, because, toddlers, young toddlers, they like to explore about putting things in their mouth. So right. You got to be mindful of that. So put it, sort of out of their reach, but where they can see it every day and go over it with them every day. Mm-hmm. So it's never too early.
And I wish I would have started earlier with Cameron, but I started soon as I started becoming aware of financial responsibility.
Right.
So if you can explain what financial responsibility is, that would be great.
Yes. So let me just address something that you said, that you didn't start teaching Cameron really until you became financially responsible. And a lot of that has to do with how we grow up in our home. We are taught, we don't talk about finances. Or, if as parents we're having a conversation, maybe, you and your husband or you and your boyfriend, if you all happen to, share accounts or whatever, you have those conversations, but, you wait until the children are busy doing something or they're off to bed, and so the children have no idea what's going on and what it takes to run a house and, all of these things that we call, being financially responsible. And so then, we grew up, and then, at some point we're like, oh, I really have to do some, learn how to do some things with this money that I'm getting. And so then you just do the best that you can until you learn otherwise.
Well, I knew I didn't. No, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I knew I didn't want to be forced to work at 70 years old because I wasn't responsible about money. And I didn't want my son to grow up thinking, robbing Peter to pay Paul is normal.
Mhm. Mhm. Absolutely. So somewhere along the way, Valencia, and I don't know if you know the exact event or, circumstances surrounding that, you had that shift in perception. For some it happens, earlier. For some it happens later, much later. But like I said, if we don't know, and if we don't seek out the information and the knowledge to know, then we're not able to teach our children how to be financially responsible. All we can do is teach our children what we know. And we do that through our actions more than anything else. Because you can talk about, all of these great financial tips and give them great financial advice, but if you are not practicing it, it is likely, more than likely, that they are going to repeat what you are doing because of the behaviors that you demonstrated and not necessarily because of what you were telling them.
I definitely agree with that. I think it was, I don't know when that shift happened with me, but, I don't know if it was just seeing people at Walmart or what exactly it was, like the older people that don't want to be there. And I know as different people I know retired, they didn't have enough money to enjoy retirement.
Yeah.
And nobody taught me about money. I learned the hard way.
Right. Which a lot of us have. And I know for me, the shift happened. I probably was in my late 20s, early 30s, and my mom did, the best she could in terms of finances. And actually, she didn't do too bad of a job. She, taught us using the envelope system and, and all of that. So kudos to her because she was always very responsible. She always had great credit. But there were just still some things that, because she didn't know, she couldn't pass along. But I didn't have that shift. I think I was in my early 30s, and I'd gotten a job, and then I got like 2-3 promotions pretty quickly. And they were substantial, differences in pay. But I was still in the same financial situation, living check to check. And I'm like, something is not right. Like, I'm missing something. Because how can I get, these 3 promotions, each of them with substantial increases, and I'm still in the same situation?
Yes, indeed.
So that's what did it for me.
So when it comes to us teaching our kids, I know you said, start as a toddler, but what if, someone has older kids, of course, where can they start now? What are some of the basics that they can start with, start teaching their kids?
Yeah, so I have several tips, even for young and for older children. One of the things with older children, because like I said, I have a 22-year-old and I have a 16-year-old. He's going to go on to maybe 17. And one of the things that I have done with them, and I actually started this with them probably, and I have a 10-year-old, so probably around that age or even before, when they would ask for things like, because they're in a store and, they'll nickel and dime you to death if you let them. Oh, can I get, some chips, or can I get this, or can I get that? And so, my thing was, if you want this bag of chips, then you've got to pay half of it, and I'll pay the other half. Or you pay 3/4 of it, and I'll get the rest. And sometimes it's like, no, you got to pay for it. So then some people will say, okay, well, how? But where my child doesn't have a job, to make money, not old enough to work to make money, and so here's where our mind is limited again, because our children don't have to be old enough to go work for somebody to earn money. They can just, go around. They can walk somebody's dog. They can wash somebody's dishes. They can mow somebody's lawn. They can pull somebody's weeds. They can. There's so many things that can be done where they can earn some money.
I'm glad you started with that, because I know and I did it more just to keep him busy for the summer, and I think Cameron was like in 3rd or 4th grade, and I actually had him, I said, okay, I'll do the initial investment, I'll buy what you need to get started, and him and my niece, started selling, we call them Dixie cups here in the South, but, like the frozen Kool-Aid, popsicles, chips, pickles. And I started that way with them learning how to, earn money, and there was a lot of neighborhood kids. So everybody knew to come there, and they made really, really good money. So I taught him early about the earning part. And, of course, and then later, I was going to say years later, he might have been like in 8th grade, and him and some of his friends started a little business selling similar things. I invested and bought them a snow cone machine and those kind of things. This time, though, I was like, okay, I'm investing, and you guys have to pay me back soon as you earn it back. Absolutely. And they put flyers up and everything else. And so at that point, the lesson went from earning, and you have to pay me back.
Absolutely, absolutely. And see, not only did you teach him to earn money, but when we do that, we are teaching our children that you can go and get money at will. You don't have to wait for a paycheck.
I like that.
You
I'm
can
writing
go and
that
get money
down.
at will.
Because there's always something they could do to earn
so
money.
many of us so many of us are sitting around and have this mindset like, I don't have a job, so I can't, do this or I can't do that, always talking about what we don't have. But when we teach our children, to go out and do these things, like you said, they set up the Dixie cup stand or lemonade stands or whatever it is. Friendship bracelets. I know my daughter was into that, with her couple of her friends, and they would make them and sell them and, whatever it is. But, you're teaching them that you can make money at will. So you get into a situation where, something's coming up, you need money for something for whatever reason, you can go out and earn that money. You have to sit and wait for a paycheck or wait for somebody to approve you to have overtime so you can make a little extra money.
Right. From earning money, where should I have went next, or where should a parent go next from? Okay, I taught them how to earn money. Now what?
Okay, so you're teaching them how to earn money, but now you've got to teach them the process of, what to do with that money, how to make the decisions that, okay, I've got this amount of money, what does it need to go to, prioritizing that and teaching them how to allocate every penny. Because the problem is with a lot of us is that, we get our, if you work a 9 to 5, you get your paychecks. If you're, an entrepreneur, you get your commissions or whatever you earn. And the problem with us is that we don't have a plan for our money. So it just goes wherever. And then we're sitting there at the end of the week or 2 weeks or whenever or the month or whatever, and we're like, I don't know where my money went. All my money's gone. Right? So teaching them, okay, now I've got this money, I should have a plan for this money. So that's where your spending plan comes in, your savings plan comes in, and not only just, okay, I'm going to put $10 away every week. What am I putting it away for how long? I mean, you have to be very detailed about your savings. With some of us as adults right now, we have a savings, but we don't have any kind of plan for it. So therefore, the savings disappears.
What do you mean by plan? Like, what am I saving for, or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
What am I saving for? I'm saying, telling me, okay, it's good to save, but what am I saving for? And understanding that, there are different types, different things that we can save for. So I should be saving. I should be putting some up here for emergencies. I should be putting something up separately for short-term kinds of things. Maybe I want a laptop. Maybe, I want to go on a road trip for the weekend with some friends, and then for long-term, for young people that maybe I want a house or, or whatever. So teaching them, about not just to save, but having plans and having goals for the money that you're saving and for the money that you're spending right away. And two things that I always like to say in terms of spending money, and I teach my children this all the time. When you're about to spend money, there's two questions you should ask yourself. One, what purpose will this thing serve, whatever it is you're purchasing, and what is the return on investment?
Two questions that have stuck in my head since since you were on before, and I've been more mindful of my spending because I don't want to give mixed messages to my son and tell him to save, and he see mom spending just randomly on things that have no purpose and there's no return.
Absolutely.
Now, would you recommend, when we're talking about saving, would you recommend like you manually do it or have it automatically come out when you get paid or a certain day of the month? What do you recommend?
I recommend a little of both. I recommend the automated because it just automatically comes out. If you don't think about it, it automatically comes out. But I also recommend you actually doing it, putting it up, you taking it out yourself and getting into that practice of doing that so that savings becomes like second nature to you. And it's a non-negotiable. I have trouble sometimes with the whole, the automated thing is good. Don't get me wrong. Do it because, like I said, for some people, out of mind, that works. It just comes off the top. They don't think about it. But here is, if I can liken it to this, and this works for your little children too. When we have a piggy bank, right? They give us these pigs. We used to drop our little coins in them or whatever, right? And you drop your coins in there, and you don't really, you're looking at that thing, but you can't really see what's going on inside of there. I always advocate getting something clear, like ditch the pig. Get something clear so that they can see the money growing. So that they can see, they're putting their change in there or the little dollar in there or whatever, and that they can see that their action is allowing that money to grow.
I like that. Ditch the pig. Ditch the pig. But
so that's what I'm saying, do a little bit of both, where they're actually, I'm taking this money to put it in, and things are coming in, and also, some's coming out automatically.
Okay, I know I started one of the little Kentwood jugs or whatever, and all the change at the end of the day, we have to clear our pockets, purses, whatever, and all the change, ones and fives, have to go in there. And that is, Christmas money or trip money or whatever, but it's clear so you can see it, which really was effective. I didn't realize that till you made that statement because I could see, how much was in there, that it was a lot, it was full, it was heavy. But on the flip side of that, my son could see it and he was, which would make him ask for it. You know, Mom, can I have a $5 out of there or a $1 out of there, and you got a whole lot? And, you know, I would constantly explain to him that this is for vacation or this is for Christmas, and we start over at the beginning of the year and try to keep it going all year. Just kind of depends on what we decide to use it for. And that's what I need to do different is have a definite, like, one reason it's there instead of, you know, it may be for this or may be for that. So I will definitely write whatever it will be for on there. I want to talk about the dreaded B word, which is budget.
Yeah. Yeah, people hate that word because it sounds so restrictive. And so, you know, I'm like, if you feel better about it, then call it a spending plan. I mean, whatever makes you feel good. Just because that's what it is. It's a spending plan. So, and then sometimes we feel like it's restrictive because we've just been used to doing whatever the heck we want with the money.
Right.
And, you know, and now we're trying to rein it in. But the thing is, you have to look at it as, you know, yes, you know, maybe I need to tighten up here or there, but in the end, you know, this is really going to allow me more freedom. Because when I'm spending willy-nilly all over the place, I'm getting myself in trouble.
True.
You know, I'm spending too much, and now I can't pay my rent. You know, I'm wanted to go get this, you know, car, and now I'm paying, you know, $300 a month for this car. I probably really didn't need to pay $300 a month, you know. So the budget is there to it's really there for your freedom. I liken it to the Ten Commandments. You know, some people are looking at me like, oh, you know, so restrictive. Who can do that? But I'm like, no, you really, by keeping it, you really don't understand how free you are.
I'm going to say this because I know a lot of people can relate, probably. One of my issues with budgeting, and one of my issues with budgeting is let's say I budget $300 for groceries for the month, which is unrealistic because it's more like $400.
Sure.
What's the best way to do it? Should we just see what we spend in like a 3-month period and, you know, average it out from there to create a budget? Because it's kind of hard to create a budget. Yeah. Okay, so that's what I should be doing.
Yep, and that's exactly what you should be doing. When I sit down with clients, likely they've not, you know, done a budget either ever, or some have attempted and, you know, not really did anything with it or anything like that. But that's exactly what I do with my clients. So I will say, okay, let's get 3 months worth of your bank statements, your you know, your checking, your savings. Your credit cards, you know, looking where the money's going. So really, you know, and so so if the area is groceries, okay, let's look and see what we spent over the 3 months and then average that, and let's start with that.
See, with the grocery number, the majority of the time I'm making groceries at Walmart, so it's not necessarily just groceries. If I pull up on my checking account, it's not necessarily just groceries I'm looking at because I've picked up other stuff that would be considered groceries, but I'm looking at one number.
Yeah, so in that case, I mean, if you're doing shopping like that, which a lot of people are now because you have these, you know, one-stop stores where you can get everything, then your budget, the line item probably won't just say groceries. It may say grocery and household items. You know, or cleaning supplies or whatever. You know, yeah.
Okay. Credit. when should we start teaching our children about credit, and what's the best way to do that?
So again, early as possible. They're young and don't know anything about that piece of plastic. But the thing is, they see you carrying it. They see you using it to make transactions. When they're little and, old enough to understand, you can allow them to give it to the cashier and all of that. But as they continue to grow and continue to understand, you begin to teach them about credit, about interest. Credit, so some people will want to, teach people that, don't get any credit cards and don't, blah, 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 and that's not the way to go. And neither is, do everything by credit. That's not the way to go.
Right.
But you definitely want to teach your children to when you're going through your statement for your credit cards and stuff. Mm-hmm. My thing is to have your children there. Like I said, and I said earlier, a lot of times we're not used to doing that. We think the children should be going off to bed or whatever. But I believe that your children should be right there, unless right now, if you're married and your whole financial meeting is volatile, I wouldn't recommend that the children be there. But if it's not, you guys are having civil, conversations about your finances and things like that. And even as single moms, have your children there, and you want to show them, your credit card statement. Okay, I purchased this, and if I don't pay it off within these 30 days, they're going to add on this interest and show them how to do the math. Now, that's going to require you to know how your credit card works.
Right.
A lot of times we can't teach our kids about credit and all that because we don't know how it works.
Because it's almost like the blind leading the blind, and you see generations of people just not knowing about money and living in poverty or in situations that they don't have to be in, or can at least work on stopping for the next generation. Because I know at my son's age, at 20, I don't know what my credit score was. I just knew, went to a dealership for them to pull it. I got approval letters in the mail, and I signed up for this. It's just money. It's just money. It's just money. So I could tell you, surely my credit score wasn't what his was. I had no concept of it. I just knew you needed credit, like you needed cash, like you needed groceries, you needed credit to do things. That's all I knew, but I never had those financial lessons with how to build it, how to use it. Is it worth getting a candy bar on your credit card,
And so those are And so those are the discussions you will have when you're sitting there with your credit card statement, with your child. Okay, I purchased this, and I can pay this off within 30 days, or I can't pay it off within 30 days. So here's what's going to be added on, and if I can't pay it off in 60 days, this is going to be added on. Was it worth it? All the children see is that we're swiping the credit card because we don't show them the other end of that, and that's you going through that statement and paying the bill and what that all entails.
That's true. And I'm sure a lot of parents would say this, well, I don't want my child knowing how much money I have.
Yeah, and see, like I said, we have to get out of that. The reason why we don't want our children to see how much money we have, it's not even about how much money we have. It's because we're piss poor at managing our money. That's what it is in most cases. I'm just gonna be real. Anytime you can't be, because I'm gonna tell you this: the people who are wealthy, people who are, rich, they not living paycheck to paycheck or whatever, they don't have no problems. They don't have no problem showing their kids what they just leave that stuff laying around like they don't have no problems. They have those conversations.
Because you can't even ask, even like now as an adult, like I'll have a conversation with someone, let's say a family member, and, we're talking about credit or money or, most of the time it's the discussion of I don't have, not from my end, but from their end, like, I'm fine. All my bills are paid. I don't have any money, but all my bills are paid. That's like an attitude that I hear a lot. And, I see it a lot on social media. You'll see people post things that is like a lack mindset, like it's okay to be broke.
Yeah.
I don't have any money, but my bills are paid.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. And I'm saying this, and for those listening, you may be hearing me say, oh, that's crazy, that's ridiculous, da, 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 da. And I'm only saying that because I've been there, folks. Right. So I have a right to say that. I don't want people to think, if you're in these situations that, I'm being insensitive or anything like that. These are all things that I had to confront myself about. And these are the same things that I told myself, you are crazy.
And I've definitely have been there. And it was easier just for me to pay my bills and be broke and borrow it. And I'm going to tell you, when I got a realization about money and what it meant was I had an uncle that's passed. So as a young single parent, he saw me out there working. I would pay my bills, and then I would have $0 or less than zero if the bank fees hit. I used to always go to him and say, hey, I need $20 or I need this or I need that, and he would always give it to me, and I would always pay him back. So I'm going into my next check already at a deficit because not only do I have bills, I also have to pay him back now. But what happened, one day he told me no. And when he told me no, number one, I was shocked.
Yep.
But that was one of the best things. It was my uncle. He was a Marine. He taught me some of the best life lessons. Because this was a constant cycle for years. It wasn't until he told me no that I had to rely on myself. I really had to look at my own resources to earn more and spend less. And he said, I don't care if it's $5. You should never not have any money. And what's funny, because I said, well, I know you have it. And I tell people this today. I quote him verbatim. I told him, well, I know you have it. You could loan me $20 or whatever. And he said, it's not that I don't have it. I'm not going to give it to you.
That's right.
And he told me that he taught me two lessons when it comes to money. Number one, if you can't afford to not get it back, do not lend it.
Yes. Yep.
Because, that causes friction. You loan somebody your last $20 that they're going to pay in 2 days, and 2 days come and you don't have it, that'll cause issues. So I don't loan any money at all. So, and then never say you don't have it, because it's that money talk.
Right.
Instead, say, I'm not going to loan it to you, or whatever words you're going to use, but never say, no, I don't have it, because that's that, that money talk. I believe in what you say, you bring it back to you. So those are some lessons.
Yeah, when I tell my children ask for things, like my son, just a few hours ago, we're driving home, and he's he's like, can we go get Burger King and da 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 da. And I said, Micah, I choose not to use my discretionary funds on Burger King.
And I bet nothing was said after that.
No, but you're right. Because it's a mindset thing. So I easily and used to do, in my younger years as a younger mom, be like, I don't have it, and it wasn't that I didn't have it. I just didn't choose to. Sometimes I didn't have it, and sometimes I just didn't choose to, to use my money for that. So you're right about, the wording and how you answer your children. And the story about you and your uncle, I love it every time you tell it, because we can create this dependency for our children, because we're constantly, wanting to bail them out, or, well, they want this and I want that, and I don't want them to ever feel like they can't have, and, I know what it was like not to have, and I don't want my children ever to feel like that, and blah, blah, blah. And we do our children, more harm, because they do have those attitudes, like you went to your uncle and said, well, I know you have it.
Right.
I know why can't you just give it to me? I know you have it,
Mm-hmm.
But we create that, and then we wonder, like, where did they get that from? No, we created it. We created it. And so there are going to be times, especially as your children are getting older and, they're preparing to leave the house. Like I said, I have one who just graduated college, and, she's on her own. And there are going to be times, they're going to come to you and say, I need, or whatever, and you're going to have to be like, how you going to figure this one out?
Right.
Because I did that with my oldest daughter. I'm like, okay, how you going to figure this out? What you going to do? And
Very
help them.
interesting.
Yeah, help them then to go through that process of, trying to figure it out, and, really trying to handle this situation on their own without having to depend on somebody else. Now, yes, there are times we're going to help our children, but it shouldn't be all the time. I've seen parents, they'll get a child, let's just say it's a laptop or something. They get the child a laptop. The child destroys the laptop. They get the child another laptop. The child is, leaves it somewhere. It's just, and now it's gone. That the parent gives them another laptop. I'm like, time out for all that, because my son, who's getting ready to be 17, a few years ago, I got him a cell phone, and he lost it one time, so I got another one. He lost it again, and I said, honey, you want another phone? You're gonna have to get the money for it.
Did he do it?
Oh yeah. He figured it out, and he's got a phone. And he's been buying his own phones ever since. He's been buying his own phones ever since.
And you taught him. That's a great lesson, and I love that you say we give and we give, because we look at it like, well, I didn't have this growing up or that growing up or so on. One of the conditions for my son driving, I said, I'm not ever going to put gas in there, and you're going to pay your own insurance. And so, and those were the rules. You're going to pay your insurance. You pay your own gas, your whatever maintenance needs to be done on the car. That's your responsibility. And because of that, he takes good care of the car. He's still learning how to keep up with the maintenance, the little things that you don't know that's not in the, what to do, outside of an oil change and everything. But like when he needed tires, 4 tires for the car, he looked at the sale, the prices for that, because he knew it was coming out of his own pocket. And it makes a difference with how he handles the car versus when he had a car before. Real life lesson. When he had a car before this one, I paid everything. I paid, I made sure he had gas. If he didn't have gas, I made sure he had gas. I paid the insurance and the maintenance and everything else. And he didn't value that car as much.
Yeah.
So I love that you hit on, and he knows, he's always worked, because that was a condition too. And a lot of times we give our kids things because we didn't have, and we overcompensate, and we pay, and they don't learn the value of it. Because where I live, there's no public transportation. There's not even an Uber. So without a car, he's Miking, Iking it, or hiking it, or whatever word you want to use. He needs a car. So but he knows.
Yeah, so absolutely. I mean, we definitely have to, teach them to be responsible. And like I said, that comes with being transparent. Like I said, don't just let them see you spending or see the transactions in the stores, but sit them down at the table when you're going through your bills and, reviewing your budgets and, all of those little things behind the scenes that you're doing. That's the stuff that they really need to see, that's the stuff that they really need to see. Teach them, and then even with their own, the whole, spend now versus save for something, the whole need versus want, type thing, even make visuals out of that. You can put a little chart on their door, their wall, or whatever, and one column has, spend now, and the other one has save, and, use a pencil. So, they have the little money, and so maybe they got $5 saved up, and you shade it in up to $5, and then they decide, and let's say they decided, okay, I'm saving for, I want to go to a basketball game, whatever. And then one day they decide, I really want to get this, I really want to go and, get some food from McDonald's or whatever. So they take some of that little money out. Sometimes you got to just let them, so they take some of that little money out, right? So then you come and you show them, okay, now you got to erase money out of there. Put it in the spend now. So let them see that, so then they can see and like, man, I didn't really need that McDonald's.
Right.
Now, right.
Very good. I wish, but everything happens how it's supposed to, because a lot of things, of course, with Cameron being 20, a lot of things I didn't do with him along the way. Some things I did. And one of my concerns is when he moves out, is he going to know how to even pay bills? Because everything that he does, I take the money from him and I pay it. He's not physically paying it with the exception of gas for the car, but the insurance, the cell phone, those are things that I will get from him and pay. But now I am going to start sitting him down to where he understands, the amounts and the due dates, and instead of just telling him he's running the electric bill up, show him the difference in the electric bill and how much it's costing.
Absolutely.
Because like I was telling him that when he was going at basic training, how low the utilities were. And me telling him versus showing him, if I would have showed him, it would have been more effective, because also it would have made him more conscious of those hour-long showers, or leaving lights on. So I'm definitely going to implement a lot of these tips going forward, because I don't want him moving out the house and him either having to learn the hard way how to pay bills and those things, or he's still paying his bills and he's grown, because we don't know even something like that, dealing with money, we don't teach our kids. We expect them to move into their own place and know how to pay bills, which is part of teaching them about money. So
exactly.
Lexi, what is the one step? Because I know, as moms, especially single moms, we get overwhelmed with the things we have to do dealing with money. What is the one step what can we do if we don't know? We're living paycheck to paycheck. What is something we could do? How can we learn about money? What do you suggest?
I would suggest, there's always, you can do it yourself and, go get books and, there's a ton of plethora of books out there about saving money, but just seek out the knowledge. You can seek out someone like myself, who is a licensed financial coach, who will coach you, and teach you the practical financial tips and strategies and things that you need to know. We can look at your situation, holistically and come up with a holistic plan, not just, some people come in and say, well, I just want to talk about saving. I don't want to talk about anything else. But I'm like, everything affects everything. And so if we can't talk about everything, I can't work with you. So, but just seeking out the knowledge. Don't just, sit there and be like, well, I don't know, but seek it out. Like I said, I'm around there. There are plenty of people out here who will help you. Plenty of financial coaches out here who will help you to help you learn and be more responsible, so that you can teach your children. Because the thing is, you'll never be able to teach your children if you yourself don't have the knowledge, don't have the tools to do so. And I think that the larger thing is to understand that it is not difficult. I think sometimes when we look at, think about finances, we get very frustrated. We get, oh my goodness, all these times I'm not going to be able to understand this or that or da-da-da-da. And it's really not as hard as, we think it is. It's really just some very basic things that you will need, need to tweak, mindset adjustments, and you'll be fine.
Definitely. How can the audience connect with you?
Sure. Yep. You can connect with me. I'm on social media, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. You can find me, Lexi Jones, on any of those, or Purposeful Lexi on any of those. You can also check out my Facebook group for women entrepreneurs and leaders, The Nexus. And you're welcome to connect with me there. We talk about, personal finances is one of the areas that we talk about in there as well. So I'm pretty easy to find. I'm not hard to find at all.
And guys, if you're listening online, the Lexi's information is also in the show notes. One question, Lexi, before I close out the show.
Yes.
I don't want to spend the next however many years of my life paying off my mortgage. Is there a way, and I will, if you tell me there's a way, I'm definitely going to get with you on this. But I've heard of, pay your mortgage off in 7 years and all those different things. I want to do that because I don't want to be in my 50s and 60s still paying a mortgage.
It can be done.
Okay, that's what I needed to know. That's what I needed to know. I'm sure it's not difficult, but you're the lady with the money plan and who knows that kind of stuff. So I will definitely get with you on that. And guys, if for no other reason, and if you're paying a mortgage, especially if you just got a house or whatever else, and you have a 10 years from now, 20 years from now, can you see yourself still paying that same amount?
Craziness.
Craziness. So that's one of my financial goals, definitely, is to, because I could do so much more with that money.
Well, I'm going to put it to you like this. If you can pay, if you go and you get a car, let's say that car is $25,000, $30,000, maybe it's less, whatever. But, you pay that off 3 years, 4 years. You get a house, some places your house could be $80,000, $120,000. If you pay a car off, that's about $30,000 in 3 years, 3 or 4 years. Why is it taking 30 years to pay off that house?
A great point. I can't wait to our next money discussion because now I have a whole new line of questions to just paying stuff off and, living I don't want to say a no credit lifestyle, but a lifestyle to where I don't owe money, a debt-free lifestyle, I guess, which is one of my financial goals, is to live a debt-free or as close as possible debt-free lifestyle. So, guys, definitely look forward to the next show with Miss Lexi on there. Definitely connect with her because I can't see it. It's too much with that. So, with that being said, Lexi, thank you so much for coming on tonight, and I look forward to our next money show on Define You Radio. Make sure you guys connect with her. If you enjoyed today's session, stay connected with the show by subscribing on iTunes or Google Play, Define You Radio. If you want to learn more about defining your life, money, and business, join us in Define You Movement, where classes and sessions 7 days a week. You guys know I always close with a quote. This is from Dave Ramsey. A budget is telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. So I'm going to work on a budget, guys. Seriously, it's my spending sometimes. I'm going to just leave it at that. With that being said, thanks again, Lexi. Pins down, guys. Class is officially over.
Hurry into Old Navy today. It's your last chance to get jeans for the whole family on sale. Just $15 for adults, $12 for kids. Plus, redeem your Super Cash right now to save even more at Old Navy and OldNavy.com. Super Cash valid 6/3 to 6/11. Jeans valid 6/3 to 6/4. Select styles only. Hurry into Old Navy today. It's your last chance to get jeans for the whole family on sale. Just $15 for adults, $12 for kids. Plus, redeem your Super Cash right now to save even more at Old Navy and OldNavy.com. Super Cash valid 6/3 to 6/11. Jeans valid 6/3 to 6/4. Select styles only.
When we go out to eat, we never agree on where to go.
I want burgers. Pizza.
Tacos it is.
The one thing we do agree on is we all want unlimited high-speed data. That's why we switched to Metro PCS.
Stop by Metro PCS with the whole family and get 4 lines with unlimited LTE data for just $100, period. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out.
Coverage not available in some areas. Offers require port and of number not currently active on T-Mobile network. During congestion, the fraction of customers using more than 35 gigs per month may notice reduced speeds. Video streams at up to 40p. No tethering. See store for details and terms and conditions.
When we go out to eat, we never agree on where to go.
I want burgers. Pizza.
Tacos it is.
The one thing we do agree on is we all want unlimited high-speed data. That's why we switched to Metro PCS.
Stop by Metro PCS with the whole family and get 4 lines with unlimited LTE data for just $100, period. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out.
Coverage not available in some areas. Offers require port and of number not currently active on T-Mobile network. During congestion, the fraction of customers using more than 35 gigs per month may notice reduced speeds. Video streams at up to 40p. No tethering. See store for details and terms and conditions.